Hey guys, what is up? It is the Fast Break Report here, bringing you guys another vlog. And well, we gotta talk about the Indiana Pacers season opener against the Detroit Pistons. And a lot of good, a lot of bad in this game. I don't know. There was good things and bad things to be said about this game. We ended up winning 115-109. This had a very old school, grinded out type of vibe to it. This was a game that I knew just wasn't going to 120 points. When we ended the third quarter and the score was basically 80-80, I was like, this is not a game that's going to be very high scoring. However, with that being said, the Pacers did hold the Pistons to under 110 points, which is something to take note of, considering I think I speak for everybody when we say Detroit came out and looked a whole lot better than we thought they would. But there's a lot to unpack with this, a whole lot. The first thing I want to address is the James Wiseman injury, because I hate to say it, but I think it's an Achilles. I haven't seen anything yet regarding James Wiseman, but the way it looked, it did not look good, but he was balling. He played 4 minutes, had 6 points, and 1 rebound in those 4 minutes. I was actually hoping that this would be a game where James Wiseman has, some good moments, and he did. The problem is he got injured. It was a non-contact injury, so we're still waiting on an update on what's supposed to become of that injury. Myles Turner had himself a really good game, 20 points, 9 boards, 4 blocks, and 4 assists. Myles Turner looks like he's become a lot better passer in the past couple games. Even with the preseason games, I've noticed Myles Turner has just become a better passer, which is good. At least he's still improving somewhat of his game, and 9 rebounds is above average for what Myles Turner does. So I have to say I was very impressed with Myles Turner last night. Myles Turner had the matchup. Jalen Duren and Isaiah Stewart are not good perimeter defenders, and Myles Turner took full advantage of that. One good thing about Myles is he's kind of an inside-out center, and, if you're not going to let him score around the basket, he will kill you from three-point land, and that's what he did last night. I will say this. Bennedict Mathurin had a really good fourth quarter, scored 12 points in the fourth. If it weren't for him and Myles Turner, odds are we probably would have lost that game. I was actually very shocked that Rick Carlisle kept Ben Mathurin in the fourth quarter, because I was thinking for sure they were going to throw in Aaron Nesmith, and Ben got hot, and Rick was like, I'm going with the hot hand, and sure enough, it paid off. Ben Mathurin had 19 points, and he is actually my pick for most improved player of the year this year. I think Ben's going to have a really good season, especially the idea that he's playing on that bench unit with TJ McConnell and Jarris Walker and preferably, hopefully, James Wiseman, as long as that injury isn't too bad. Enrique Freeman, I'm going to be honest, I know we didn't get a whole hell of a lot out of Enrique Freeman, but Enrique Freeman looked good in the minutes that he did get. Obviously he didn't come out and do a whole hell of a lot as far as scoring or any of this other stuff. But Enrique Freeman did play 6 minutes. He had 2 points. He shot 2 of 2 from the free throw line. He only had 1 turnover, but here's the thing. Enrique Freeman played very well defensively. I know there's certain things that just simply don't show up in the box score. You really have to watch the game to find out, but I thought Enrique Freeman did a great job of just sticking to his man. And honestly, man, that's a big role. I don't think people understand how crazy it is that Enrique Freeman was a second round pick in our draft, and I think he was a late pick. And he comes in, his number gets called, Isaiah Jackson was injured. James Wiseman goes out with an injury, so now we only have 1 center. We only have Myles Turner, and for Enrique Freeman to get his number called in the very first game of the season, and just coming out and looking as good as he did, I think that says a lot to just how good he is. At first I thought Rick played him over Isaiah Jackson at first, and I was like, Rick's playing Enrique Freeman over Ijax, and then I found out Isaiah Jackson was actually injured. He might play for the Knicks game coming up tomorrow night. But it's just the idea. I was impressed with what I saw out of Enrique Freeman, just laterally. Just rotating on screens, getting the switching right, staying to his man, boxing out, making rebounds hard to get for the opposing team. So even though Enrique Freeman only scored 2 points and they were both free throws, it was just nice to see like he didn't crack under the pressure. You know what I'm saying? Like he came in, did his job, and we got a win because of it. The next thing I want to talk about here is Tyrese Haliburton. Tyrese Haliburton had a forgettable night, and I don't know what the fuck this is. I've been seeing it a little bit since last night. Everybody's now like down on Tyrese. Oh, he's a bad player. He's this, that. It's fucking opening night. Okay, can we relax? Can we relax just a little bit? A lot of people are already like, oh, Tyrese is not the same player. He's not this. He's not that. It was opening night. Okay, yes, he did shoot horrendously from the floor. I will say that. We had 11 turnovers in the first half, which is unacceptable. You will not be a winning basketball team if you do that. However, I think we underestimated Detroit a little bit. We still got the win. But Tyrese Haliburton last night was not good. Tyrese Haliburton shot 6 of 18 from the field, 1 of 9 from 3. However, Haliburton did have 3 turnovers as well and 2 personal fouls. But Tyrese Haliburton defensively left a lot. I mean, a lot that was like okay. Like on the defensive side of the ball, he had 3 steals and 2 blocks. And I have to be honest, man. I understand last night defensively wasn't a great showing. Okay, like it wasn't great for a lot of people, but I will say this: there is a lot to look forward to with Ben Mathurin and Tyrese Haliburton defensively. Tyrese Haliburton has all the measurements to be a good defender. It's just a matter of that, like he, effort-wise, hasn't been given a whole hell of a lot. He hasn't been good on switches. He gets targeted in the pick and roll. And last night, I was like, you know what? Even if Tyrese Haliburton didn't have a good night, right? Like, at least we know defensively, like, he's giving effort now. You know what I'm saying? Like, as long as we get this out of Tyrese Haliburton and Bennedict Mathurin consistently, we're going to be a good defensive team. And I know it's the first game, and like I said, we held Detroit to 108 points. I think we only held teams below 110 points like 10 times last year. So the idea that the first game of the year, we held a team to below 110 points in the opening night game, has me very optimistic about our defense. If our defense can just be average, we will be a very, very good playoff team. Pascal Siakam had himself a night as well. Pascal Siakam was very good. Pascal Siakam, if I'm correct, was like player of the game. He had, Pascal Siakam had 19 points, 8 rebounds, and 9 assists. He almost had a triple-double with 2 steals, no turnovers, and 0 fouls. 1 of 3 from 3. Pascal Siakam has been fantastic. If I'm being honest. Last night was very good. Myles was player of the game. But TJ McConnell was very good. 14 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists on 7 of 8 from the field with 1 steal. Jarris Walker only played 6 minutes, but he had 3 points, shot 1 of 2 from the field. I'm going to be honest, boys. I think this team has the ability to be a lot better than we think. Obviously, Detroit played very physical basketball last night. A lot of the calls were not going our way, but we still managed to persevere and come out on top, which I think it says a lot about this team. We won that game and we played bad. Obviously against the Knicks, we can't have 11 turnovers in the first half. Haliburton has to play a better game. We got very, very lucky that Cade Cunningham had a bad first half. And then in the third quarter, he started cooking. Cade Cunningham looked good. Jaden Ivey looked like a little bit more energized this year or in the first game than he did all of last year. Like, just as far as a guy, who looks like he actually cares about playing basketball again. They did get Tim Hardaway Jr. and Tobias Harris, so they put some shooting around him. Detroit's going to be a team to look out for, man. Just even though they lost this game to us, they showed that they're going to be a team that fights. And they're also going to be a very physical team. I don't know if you guys noticed that last night or not, but they are They're a gritty, grindy basketball team this year, it looks like. JB Bickerstaff has turned that team around from a team that looks like it was on its last legs to a team that looks like they actually kind of believe in themselves now. So I'll be honest, the game was not perfect. It was not what I expected, nor was it really what I was hoping for. But we still came out with the win. And you know what, man? It was nice to see also last night other guys stepping up. Myles stepped up. TJ McConnell stepped up. Ben Mathurin stepped up. Like Siakam stepped up. That last night was like the first night I think I've seen where Tyrese Haliburton didn't have it going, and our team still managed to win a game. And that's important going forward, man, because I'm just going to be honest, man. Not every night is your star player or your superstar player going to come out and have a good night. It's just not going to happen. And that's why I think people are kind of overreacting to Tyrese Haliburton's bad first game. I understand why people have the opinions on it that they do, because obviously, second half of last season, the shooting wasn't great. After the All-Star break, it really went downhill, but that was also because Haliburton was suffering from an injury. He was playing injured just so he could, get himself into the All-NBA conversation. So, and honestly, if he doesn't play, odds are we don't make the playoffs. Even with as bad as he is, he's still a threat to score. So, you know what, man? I can forgive it. Tyrese Haliburton did hit a decent, towards the end, like the last minute of the game, he finally started playing ball again. He finally made a three-pointer after taking 8 attempts. He shot 1 of 9 from 3. But I'm just going to tell people, just relax a little bit. Just relax a little bit on Haliburton. We won the game. It's not the end of the world. He's allowed to have a bad game. Everybody's allowed to have bad games, man. It happens, okay? Jimmy Butler shot 1 of 8 last night, okay? I have him on my fantasy team, okay? Like, I'm pissed at Jimmy Butler, but at the same time, I understand it's the first game of the season. You know what I'm saying? It's first game. These guys are playing more minutes than they have the entire preseason. So, you know what? Yeah, maybe they're a little gassed. Maybe their legs are a little heavy. They're huffing and puffing, So, I'm not going to get too up in the air about it. It was an ugly win, to say the least. They really got to cut down on the turnovers. The turnovers were, I couldn't believe it. Just be honest with you. The idea that they had 11 turnovers in the first half, I was thinking to myself, there's no way they win this game. And then once the third quarter rolled around, I was like, okay, we're closing the gap a little bit. And finally, I said in Discord, I was like, I think we can win this game. And sure enough, Ben Mathurin got hot. Myles Turner played well all game. Siakam showed up. McConnell showed up. And when you get those guys that are like, all you need is a couple guys to show up for you in crunch time, and you can win a game. So, you know what? It was an ugly win, but we got the win. So I'm not super upset. Take it easy on Tyrese Haliburton. Okay, listen. I'm just gonna say this. All right. Cade Cunningham had 28, 5, and 8. Good thing he had a bad first half. I'm just gonna say this. All right. As a Pacers fan, I understand we want to hold players accountable. I do it all the time. I call out things that I think are bad. And people, for better or worse, hate that I do it. People hate that I criticize Myles. People hate that I criticize Jarris Walker. People hate that I criticize Andrew Nembhard. Okay? But I do it because I want the team to be better. Okay? I'm not ever gonna come out and say Tyrese Haliburton is trash. Okay? Because I don't think any player is trash. And oftentimes when I do stuff like that, the player comes out and proves me wrong anyway. I did that with Andrew Nembhard last year, and, he ended up getting into the starting lineup and magically became, one of the better players on this team. So, I don't know. I'm starting to think maybe I should do that more often. But it's just the idea, just calm down. Okay? Just calm down a little bit. It's the first game of the season. Tyrese Haliburton's entitled to a bad game, especially when you consider the idea that the only reason this team is a playoff team is because we traded for him. So don't piss him off, okay? Just, the game's behind us now. There's nothing that can be changed about it. It's in the past. Let's focus on New York. New York doesn't have the bench depth that they did. OG Anunoby didn't look that great in their first game. So let's just calm down and see what the future holds, okay? Because I guarantee you, okay, I tell this to everybody, if you start down here, the only place you can go is up. And after that start, 6-18, 1 of 9, the only place Tyrese Haliburton can go from there is up. So I don't think there's any way it could be worse than 6 of 18, 1 of 9 from 3. So let's calm down. Don't overreact to it. I know people love to do this. It's the first game of the season, so people love to overreact and be like, oh, the team's horrible, and this guy needs to be traded. Like, it's the first game of the season, all right? So let's take it easy, and let's see what the next game brings. So tell me what you guys think about this down below in the comment section below. A like helps me out. Subscribe if you guys want to see more on the Fast Break Report, and out of this motherfucker. Peace, guys.